Welcome back. All right, so now that we've got the trade video out of the way, and if you're looking for the trade video, it's already on the channel. The question becomes, so when does Nature's debut for Colorado? I'm guessing the Sunday game in New York against the Rangers. That's my guess. Whereas for Rantanen, maybe he could be in the lineup for Carolina tomorrow against the Islanders. I don't know, but I'm glad that a big trade's taken place. I think it makes the NHL a lot more fun when there's liberal player movement, and I kind of miss those days. Talked about that many times, but you used to get trades all throughout the season. It was just sort of, hey, every couple of weeks you'd see a trade, and there was usually some pretty big ones, but these days not so much. All right, so into tonight's action. Philadelphia and the Islanders. Fedotov versus Sorokin. The only shot on net was for Philly at 3.5 minutes. Holmstrom has a net feed that's blocked. The Flyers press at 6 minutes. A hit by Romanov on York draws a crowd. Now, York did get hurt on the play, but it was a clean hit. So the Islanders end up coming out of that with a power play because Philly takes issue with the hit. That one ends up being killed off, and I don't think it had a shot. It did not get set up. Shots are 2-1 for the Islanders at the half. The Islanders press with 7.5 minutes left. The teams trade rushes, and on a 2-on-1 rush, Forrester wires one. Konechny and Johnson with the assists on that at 14-14. I accidentally put Forrester instead of Forster. Apologize for that. The Flyers press with 3.5 minutes left at 17:09. Also on a rush, Duclair buries one far side. That ties the game at 1. Nelson and Palmieri with the assist. And then at 18:03, Horvat buries a cross-ice pass. Barzal and Romanov with the assist. So now the Islanders have a lead at 2-1. Gatcomb's denied in the final minute. It stays 2-1 for the Islanders after 1. Second period, the shots are 5-2 for the Islanders at 6.5 minutes. I kept going back to the game, but it was a lot of one and done. There wasn't like a lot of sustained pressure. Michkov's denied, the rebounds cleared. Good forechecking by the Islanders. The Flyers then press at 9.5 minutes. Forrester, which I spelled right there, breaks up a 3-on-2. We get a power play for the Flyers. There's a shorthanded rush by Horvat. That's saved. Power play's killed off. And then another rush goal. Nelson from Pelican Pollock at 13:56 makes it 3-1 for the Islanders. Things get pushy on hold by Fedotov. The dislikes seem to be ramping up with the Islanders in complete control. 3:29 left. The Islanders draw a power play. That's killed off. The Islanders press after, and they press to close it out. So it's 3-1 Islanders after 2. Third period. Shots are 5-0 Philly at 4 minutes. So, a bit of a sloppy start for the Islanders, but Sorokin was in the zone tonight, so it wasn't a big deal. Islanders press at 5.5 minutes. Lee has a rush chance that's held. The Islanders draw a power play. That's killed off as well. Pressed by the Islanders after it's done. Pajot has a net drive. That saved. Shots were 11-7 for Philadelphia with 8.5 minutes left. Sanheim has a wraparound. That's held. The Flyers press with 6 minutes left. Eventually, they pull the goalie down by 2. And during the 6-on-5, I thought the Islanders did a good job of blocking, keeping the Flyers to the outside, and the Islanders win this one 3-1. They are finally back at NHL 500, 20-20-7 on the season. Philadelphia drops to NHL 500 at 22-22-6. Shots on net, 7-6 Philadelphia in the first, 13-7 Islanders in the second, 16-8 Philly in the third. Final shots 30-27 in favor of the Flyers. Power plays, Philadelphia 0-1. The Islanders 0-3. The hits 34-25 for the Islanders. Fedotov saves 24 out of 27. Sorokin 29 saves on 30 shots. So excellent game for Sorokin. And for the Islanders, they come out of this one with a win. All right, next up. Vegas and Dallas. Hill versus Ottinger. Vegas presses in a minute and a half. They end up getting a power play, and they score. It's a one-timer on a nice pass by Stone. Eichel buries it. Of course, Eichel from Stone at 4:04. It's 1-0 for the Golden Knights. Stars press. They draw a power play, and they score on it at 6:19. Hintz tips one in close on a net feed from Dodonov. Stankoven with the other assist. That ties the game at 1. Shots are 4-3 Vegas at 8.5 minutes. Stars press with 9 minutes left. Johnston's denied and close. Hanifin has a shot that's blocked as Vegas gets some pressure. And they press to close out the period. So it's 1-1 after 1. Second period. Early press by Vegas. The shots are 1 apiece at 4 minutes. The Stars draw a power play. And at 7:31, after that power play is done, Robertson puts one into the open net. Had a wide open net. He buries it. Duchesne and Johnston with the assists. It's 2-1 in favor of Dallas, their first lead of the game, and it does not last. We get a power play for Vegas, and at 8:57 on a tic-tac-toe play, Theodore ties it. Hurdle and Stone with the assists, so Stone with a couple of helpers. It's a 2-2 tie. Shots are 7-3 for Dallas with 9 minutes left. The Stars press with 8 minutes left. Bork's denied and close. Stars press with 4.5 minutes left, and it's 16-18. Ben tips in a shot past the screen. Duchesne and Heiskanen get the assists on that. Dallas has their lead back at 3-2. Vegas presses for a response, but at 17:52, Robertson roofs a loose puck in close. Johnston with the assist there. It is 4-2 in favor of Dallas. Then there was a post for Harley as the Stars press. It's 4-2 Dallas after 2. Third period, Vegas presses at 2.5 minutes. Colasar can't bury one in close. Dallas with some pressure at 4 minutes. In fact, Dallas had the only shot on net 5 minutes into the period. There's a near miss for Stankoven on a rush. The shots are 3-0 Dallas at 8 minutes. Then there's a crossbar for Eichel as Vegas presses. And at 10:25, Eichel would get the goal to make it 4-3. He buries a rebound. McNabb and Stone with the assists. Vegas looks to tie it. They draw a power play. That was killed off. With 5 minutes left, the shots were 6-5 Vegas. And then eventually they get to pull in the goalie. Dorofeev almost gets it, but the buzzer beater is saved. And so Vegas loses this one 4-3. Dallas 30-17-1 with the win. Vegas 30-15-4 with the loss. One thing when I'm watching Vegas games, and I realized this today, that's frustrating with them is they can play poorly for a while and then all of a sudden they turn it on late in the third. It reminds me when I'm watching a football game and a team is down and then suddenly they're playing great in the last 5 minutes. And you're like, well, where was this the rest of the game? And I kind of feel like that when I watch Vegas games sometimes, that they lose games because they do get behind, they do rely on the comeback, and sometimes it doesn't work as it didn't here. Shots on net, 8-6 Vegas in the first, 15-5 Dallas in the second, 9-6 Vegas in the third. Final shots 27-22 for Dallas. Power plays, Vegas 2 for 3, Dallas 1 for 2. The hits, 21-18 for Dallas. Aiden Hill saves 23 out of 27. Ottinger, 19 saves on 22 shots. So if you're a Vegas fan, let me know if you get frustrated too that they just seem to turn it on in the last 10 minutes of the third period. Because, again, my thought process is, where was this the rest of the game? All of a sudden, they're unstoppable. If they'd been this way from the start, there's no way they don't win this game. All right, and next up, the Tampa Bay Lightning and the Chicago Blackhawks. Johansson versus Soderblom. Nazar beats out an icing. Del Mastro to Doc. There's a near miss there. Shots are 1 apiece at 3.5 minutes. The Hawks press at 4.5 minutes. They're kept to the outside. Kurashev has a net drive that deflects wide. Tampa Bay presses at 7.5 minutes. Mikheyev fires one wide on a rush. We get a power play for Tampa, and they score on it. Chafee on a pass from behind the goal line scores from Kucherov and point at 10:59. Shots are 8-1 for Tampa with 8 minutes left. The Hawks press with 6 minutes left. Nick Foligno's denied on a 2-on-1 rush. And then at 16:29, Colton Dach buries one in close. Donato and Crevier with the assist. That is the first NHL goal for Colton Dach. Then at 18:47, Nazar wires one from the slot. He had way too much time. Tampa Bay gave him way too much time to pick his spot. Bedard with the assist there. It's 2-1 Chicago after one. Second period. Early press by Tampa. The teams trade rushes. We get a power play for Chicago. That's killed off. And then right after it's done at 4:59, Crevier. He gets one to make it 3-1. Nazar and Reichel with the assists. The shots are 2 apiece at 6 minutes. Chicago presses at 7 minutes. Doc can't bury one in close. We get a power play for Chicago. There's a shorthanded 2-on-1. Cirelli's denied. That power play is killed off. Cirelli also had a post shorthanded during that play. The Bolts press with 3.5 minutes left at 19:52. It's fired at a screen. Paul deflects it in. Hedman and Hagel with the assists, making it 3-2 after 2 in favor of Chicago. Third period, early press by Chicago. And that's about where the happiness ends if you're a Chicago fan in this one. Hedman has the shot that's held as Tampa presses. Tampa presses at 4 minutes. Shots are 4-0 for Tampa Bay at 5 minutes. Radish is denied as Tampa gets more pressure. Crevier fires one wide from the point. There's good forechecking by Tampa. And honestly, the Hawks completely dominated in their own zone in that third period. It's like their batteries ran out or something. I had no idea, but just Tampa Bay owned that third period. 2:26 left. Tampa gets power play. That becomes a 6-on-4 with a minute and a half left. Chafee has a chance that's held, and then at 19:19, Gensel tips one in. Kucherov and Radish with the assists. And if that wasn't bad enough for Chicago, with 3.3 seconds left, Tampa goes to the power play. So it's 3-3, and in the overtime, Tampa scores the power play goal. Kucherov deflects one in. Hedman and Gensel with the assists at 58 seconds. So Chicago grabs a loss from the jaws of victory tonight. Final score 4-3 in overtime for Tampa. They go to 26-18-3 with the win. Chicago 15-28-5 with the overtime loss. The shots on net are ugly. 12-5 Tampa in the first, 10-8 Tampa in the second, 17-1 Tampa in the third, and in the overtime they got the one shot. That's all they needed. Final shots 40-14 for Tampa. Power plays, Tampa Bay goes 3 for 3. Chicago 0 for 2. The hits 17 apiece. Johansson saved 11 out of 14. He may have had a bad night. We'll never know because Chicago didn't shoot on him. Soderblom had a good night, but he has one of the worst win-loss records in NHL history because he plays for Chicago. 36 saves on 40 shots, and I'm officially declaring it now. I would love to see Soderblom get traded to a team that could help that win-loss record. That would be nice because I'm starting to feel bad for the guy. He's a good goaltender. He's played well, but his win-loss record is atrocious because the team he plays behind, they don't protect leads very well. We'll put it that way. They get leads, they don't protect them. Utah in against the Jets. Second time in a week these two teams have seen one another. It's Ingram versus Hellebuck. The Jets press at a minute and a half. Morrissey's denied on a rush chance. Good forechecking by Winnipeg. Shots are 2 apiece 5 minutes into the period. Cooley has a net feed, that's held. Stenlin has a slot shot, that's held as well. Hellebuck not giving up a lot of rebounds. Teams trade turnovers. There's a post for Pionk as the Jets get some pressure. Shots are 6-3 Winnipeg with 5.5 minutes left. With 2:56 left, the Jets get a power play and they score on it. It is Perfetti from Ehlers and Velarde at 17:52. But then with 14 seconds left in the period, Utah gets power play. So it's 1-0 for Winnipeg, but Utah has the power play to start the second, and they score on it. Schmaltz tips one in at 1 minute and 13 seconds. Kesselring and Keller with the assists, so we're at a 1-1 tie. Shots are 2-0 Utah at 3 minutes. The Jets press at 4.5 minutes. They're kept to the outside. More pressure by the Jets at 6 minutes. The teams trade rushes, and then at 8:48, Ingram goes out of the net to play a puck behind the net. The problem was it goes off the stanchion right out into the front of the net. Ingram's not there. So Gustafsson has the wide open net that he buries the puck into. DeMello with the assist. And it's just one of those ones that ends up getting played on highlight reels. And I feel bad for Ingram there. He did what any goalie would have done. But maybe if he'd gone out to the other side. Maybe if he hadn't gone and, to the side where you're waiting for the puck to go around the net. If he'd gone towards where the puck was. But anyways, Winnipeg ahead 2-1 on that one. Jets press for another. Things are pushy on a hold by Ingram. Utah presses with 9.5 minutes left. The shots are 7-5 for the Jets with 6.5 minutes left. Utah, more pressure for them with 6 minutes left. We then get a power play for the Utah Hockey Club. Kesselring has a one-timer that's held. That power play's killed off. DeMello's then denied on a rush. It's 2-1 Winnipeg after 2. Third period. Scheifele has a net feed that's blocked, and then at 1:19, Hayden wires one from the high slot. Marino and Keller with the assists. It's a 2-2 tie. The Jets look to respond. There was just one shot on net 5 minutes into the period, and it's the goal by Utah. So that's it. But then at 5:51, Perfetti buries a rebound for his second goal of the game. Nemesnikov and DeMello with the assists. Utah presses to respond. There's a post for Bugstad from in close, and at 12:16, Nick Ehlers he forces the turnover, and then on a breakaway. What I love with the breakaway is he looks behind himself, realizes he has a lot of time, and so he slows down a bit to pick his spot, and he fooled Ingram. Looks one way and goes the other. Beautiful goal by Ehlers. That gives the Jets a 4-2 lead. The Jets press with 5 minutes left. Eventually the goalie gets pulled, and Perfetti hits the empty net for the hat-trick goal. Ehlers and Pionk with the assist at 18:14. That is point number 500 in the career of Nikolai Ehlers. With 1:19 left, the Utah Hockey Club gets a power play. That rolls till the end of the clock as the Jets don't allow a goal. 5-2 is your final for the Jets. They win and go to 33-14-3 with the win. Utah 21-20-7 with the loss. Shots on net 10-5 Winnipeg in the first, 11-9 Winnipeg in the second, 8-5 Winnipeg in the third. Final shots 29-19 for the Jets. Power plays Utah 1 for 3, Winnipeg 1 for 1. The hits 24-12 for Winnipeg. Ingram, 24 saves on 28 shots. Hellebuck, 17 saves on 19 shots. So, there you go. Pretty wild day today around the hockey world. Not so much on the ice, but off the ice with trades and, singular trade. But we'll see if there's more to come. Anyways, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below as always. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe in the event you may not have done so already. Thank you guys so much for all your support. I will talk to you again soon.